June 17th, 1815. We should have been celebrating our recent skirmishes. But no, the heavens opened, a torrential, relentless downpour, turning everything to thick mud. It turned our whole line of retreat into a quagmire, and now we had finally stopped here, Mont Saint-Jean. The Duke of Wellington himself chose this very ground. He said this is where we would stop Napoleon. Easy enough to say when you're dry, not standing freezing in this cursed ankle-deep mud. This constant rain, it didn't just chill us. No, it seeped deep, right into our very bones. It soaked our muskets through. Damp powder is utterly useless now. How could we possibly fight them? It turned the very ground beneath us to a morass, leaving even our heavy cannons quite useless. Worse still, it delayed the Prussians. We desperately knew Field Marshal Blücher was still marching. But could he possibly cut his way through this mire in time? Or would we have to face them all alone? All through that long, cold night, we listening in vain for the sound of Prussian hoofbeats. But we heard only the wind and the faint, mocking revelry from the French camp. They were so very close. Our own weary camp was silent, drowned in the heavy, sodden silence of men, perhaps waiting for death. I checked the sentries again. Keep them alert, keep them steady, be their rock, their officer. Though I felt precious little strength myself, so many were just boys. I saw the fear in their young eyes and felt it in my own. At last, the rain lessened slightly, but the silence that followed felt somehow heavier. June 18th. The day had arrived. The day everything would finally be decided. Our fate. Across the valley, the French were forming up. Column after endless blue column, an ocean of men. They were preparing to advance. The Emperor himself was likely watching them now. The waiting was nearly over. A dreadful quiet settled over our ridge. You could hear your own heart pound. It began, not against our main line, but over there, at the Chateau of Hougoumont, far on our right flank. A vital strongpoint for Wellington's line. Stone walls and orchard, held fast by our guards and brave German allies. Napoleon's own brother, Jérôme, led the French assault there, pouring thousands of determined infantry into those woods. A truly brutal, close-quarter fight quickly erupted amongst the trees. The musketry became utterly deafening. Our men fought like lions inside. Nassauers, Hanoverians, our own Coldstream Guards, desperately defending every single blood-soaked inch. For one terrifying, heart-stopping moment, they broke clean through the north gate. A desperate struggle ensued to force it closed, led by the giant MacDonald himself, a true Scot. With sheer strength, they slammed it shut, trapping those few Frenchmen inside. Hougoumont held firm, miraculously. But the furious fighting there, it would rage viciously all day, drawing in thousands. But that savage fight? Incredibly, that was just the diversion, the prelude. The Emperor's main blow was yet to fall, upon us. Around 1:30, the earth itself began to shake. Napoleon's grand battery opened fire. A terrible storm of iron rained down upon our lines, tearing brutally through flesh and bone. Then, emerging through the thick smoke, came their main infantry assault. D'Erlon's corps, 4 massive columns. Tens of thousands of determined men, marching shoulder to shoulder up that slope, bayonets fixed. We remained hidden behind the ridge crest, ordered to lie low, waiting. Nerves stretched taut like bowstrings. Then, the command finally rang out. "Guards, stand up!" We rose instantly, a sudden red wall revealed. And there they were, the French columns, almost right upon us. Close enough now to see their faces clearly. Another order snapped sharply through the air. "Make ready." Our long line steadied, muskets leveled forward. Our volley crashed into them at point-blank range. The effect, the sheer slaughter, was utterly devastating. But incredibly, they kept coming forward, rank after rank, pressing relentlessly over their fallen comrades. Another crashing volley erupted from our line, then another. We poured disciplined fire into their dense formations. Finally, under the relentless storm of lead, they began to waver, falter, then break. It was too much. D'Erlon's attack was broken, repulsed. For a precious few moments, there was almost quiet. But then a new sound began to build, a low rumble, growing louder, the thunder of hooves. And there they were, emerging from the smoke, French heavy cavalry, cuirassiers, thousands of them, led by Marshal Ney himself, a terrifying, beautiful wave of polished steel and horseflesh. Instantly, our red lines dissolved, reforming into tight, bristling squares, our only hope against their heavy cavalry. Inside the square, cramped, tense, the front rank knelt down, bayonets angled outwards like a deadly hedge. The ranks behind them stood ready, muskets prepared now to fire over their comrades' heads. Then they were truly upon us, a wall of charging war horses and gleaming steel breastplates. Chaos instantly erupted. Horses screamed, men fell. But the front ranks held firm against the initial shock. We dared not break formation for an instant. To falter meant certain death beneath those heavy hooves. Slowly, finding no weakness in our squares, the first wave began to withdraw, leaving their fallen behind. But we knew, gazing at that sea of horsemen below, this terrible dance was far from over, not nearly over. Again and again, the French cavalry charged. Ney threw wave after wave against our battered squares. Men fell around me, yet the square held. It had to hold. There was nowhere else to go. Then, a rumor spread along the line. A desperate hope whispered ear to ear. The Prussians. I strained my eyes eastward. Through the smoke? Were those dark blue uniforms advancing? It was true. Blücher had arrived. The Prussians were attacking Plancenoit on Napoleon's flank. But Napoleon, he was not yet beaten. He prepared his final, desperate gamble. His ultimate reserve, the Immortals, the Old Guard, marching towards us now. Veterans of countless campaigns, never truly defeated in battle, the best infantry in the world. Wellington himself ordered us forward slightly, ready to meet them head-on. They came on relentlessly, magnificent and terrible, shouting, "Vive l'Empereur!" Then came the Duke's order, unleashing our own guard's devastating volley at close range. For the first time, the unthinkable happened. The Old Guard hesitated. They faltered. Then the cry went up, spreading panic through Napoleon's army. La garde recule. The Guard retreats. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, the roar of battle finally died away. And the sight, the endless, terrible field of the dead and dying. Men I had shared rations with just hours before, now lying perfectly still in the mud. The ground itself was soaked not just with rain, but with the blood of 40,000 men. Victory. Yes, we had finally won. But standing there, the cost felt impossibly high. We learned later Napoleon himself had fled, his magnificent army shattered, broken, retreating in chaos. A whole era of war had ended on this field, 20 years, finally reaching its bloody conclusion. Night fell completely. Cold stars watched over that field of slaughter. Those of us who remained, we were truly brothers now, bound forever by what we had endured. But the faces of the fallen, the screams, the chaos of that day, those memories would never leave us. Weeks later, Sailing for home, seeing the white cliffs of Dover again, it felt unreal. We returned as heroes, so they said. But part of us, part of me, never truly left that field. Waterloo brought peace to Europe, for a time. It undoubtedly shaped the world we now know. But for those of us who were there, it remains simply the longest night. The day we faced the emperor and somehow survived.